Hey Heather, thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure.
Oh, it's just really great opportunity to be interviewing you. You run a really incredible transport company here in Western Australia. Can you tell us a bit about it and how come it's so unique?
Well, I've been driving trucks for 20 years and I had two previous employers who were very female and family friendly.
Wow.
And managed one of the companies for 5 years before I started my own company in 2004. The reason I started my own company was to employ more women and to get younger people into the industry, because the company I was working for was very set and regimented in their ways.
Yeah, right.
So to open up an avenue for women to get into heavy vehicles, to get experience and to have an opportunity, I started my company in 2004. We employ 11 female drivers and we have a team of 20, and in the last 3 years we've had 11 women come through, do work experience and gain employment elsewhere.
Great.
So,
I mean, that's a pretty incredible statistic in our industry.
It is. I think in Australia, I think the women that drive heavy vehicles is around 1% compared to Sweden, where it's 50%, so we've got a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah, wow, 50% in Sweden.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Why do you think your company's been so successful?
I think one of the keys to success is that I actually still drive the trucks. I actually are out there on the road with the guys and the girls. And also that I'm very fair and treat everybody exactly the same. Whether you're the general manager of Boral or whether you're the yard boy, you get treated exactly the same when you come in contact with me.
Yeah, I guess that's one of the key ingredients of running a business, is that you're still really intimately involved. And that I think most business people, successful business people, would say that it's really very important to be involved in the day-to-day operations.
I find that if I don't keep my bum in the seat, that you actually do lose contact and you do lose touch with what the boys actually do have to go through every day. They have a lot of issues that, unless you're out there with them, you don't understand or you do forget.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things I think we have a very successful business, or leads to some of the successes in our industry.
There's nothing like motivation when you see your boss right in there in the company driving a truck like you do. How many miles would you drive a week, would you say? And is it only in Western Australia?
Yeah, just in Western Australia, but we cover from the top to the bottom, so
Wow.
it's a few thousand kilometres there. How many Ks do I do a week? That depends on the job. This week I've done 6,500,
Wow.
but previous week's probably only maybe 1,000. It depends on whether you're working in town or whether you don't long runs.
So one of the really big questions, you run this really incredible, successful transport company. You're a woman, you're the owner, the managing director. How do you have a family balance? How's the work-life balance? How does that work for you?
Well, something I normally say is work-life balance is really easy for me because I've always had my children with me wherever I've gone.
Right.
So whether when they were young they were in the truck with me, and now they're in the office with me, so it's very balanced. They're with me all the time.
So they've been really involved in your company from when they were born?
No, from when they were 4 and 5.
Okay.
Their dad left, so we were in a unique position as to what I should do for employment. And I had a friend who had a transport company in Karratha, and he said, as long as your girls don't get out of the cab, you can come back and work for me. So we did that for 6 years, and the girls were homeschooled in the truck.
Wow.
And they started regular school in grade 7, and they've done high school, college, and now they work back with me, for me, in our company now. So it really has been an absolute blast for us as a family. Yeah.
Gee, what sort of show and tell stories would your kids have to tell at school?
Oh, well, let me tell you a story. When they were in grade 7, no one else's mum took their kids to school in a truck. So I used to have to drop them around the corner, you see, so they were a bit embarrassed about mum driving a truck. When they got to high school, it was a different story altogether, because all the guys then wanted to know their mother who drove a truck. So yeah.
Okay, so advantages and disadvantages.
Absolutely.
But you haven't found it hard to maintain a work-life balance?
No, I don't do pretty much anything else. My girls are number one priority, and then work, so
Right.
I don't have any other outside interests. Yeah.
Right, okay, so it's pretty much either work or family. That's how you sort of maintain your balance. Oh, that's incredible. Do you think you've been so successful because you're a woman?
I don't think so. I think it's the way that we conduct ourselves and the service that we give our customers and clients. In the beginning, I think it was a little bit of a novelty. A lot of guys didn't take me seriously, and they would say, oh, you wonder how long this is going to last. But now I've actually got quite a few of the main contractors in Perth actually ring me now and ask my opinion, so I think that's a bit of a notch on the belt, yeah.
Yeah, and that leads to an interesting point. When you first set up, did you have much opposition from other transport providers? I mean, it's a very male-dominated sector of our industry.
And it's not just that, Renda, it is really, really hard. It's a really difficult job running a transport company. I actually treated everybody the same, and I would ring some of the guys for advice and go and have tea with them and chit-chat. Even though they were, in effect, my opposition, we still do exactly the same job. And that's paid off now because we all, in the Perth environment anyhow, have the opportunity to have a chat to each other about what's happening with the fuel prices, for example, or the lack of drivers, and we all share those sort of worries and hopefully provide solutions for each other. Yeah.
Do you find a lot of those transport operators are now very supportive of you and your company?
Absolutely. Especially, I've been very fortunate enough to pick up 6 awards in the last 3 years, and that sort of seems to validate you in this industry.
Yes.
And we get on really well.
Do you find that recognition, like getting an award, is important?
It is, and it's very important for women in our industry to be able to pick up awards like that, because then you're asked to speak all around the country, or you're asked to share your opinions with people, so that you're not just a truck driver, or you're not just a business person, you are a person who's been acknowledged, recognised and rewarded for what you actually do and love.
Yeah, and what sort of awards have you picked up?
In 2005 I picked up West Australian Transport Woman of the Year. 2006, 40 under 40, that's a West Australian award for 40 top business people under the age of 40. 2006, the Telstra Businesswoman's Award in WA. 2007, WA Transport Woman again, and the Max Winkler's Outstanding Contribution to Road Transport finalist twice, 2 years in a row.
What an achievement! That's quite a stack of awards that you've won. You must feel quite satisfied.
I do. I feel happy for women in the industry too. I don't take them personally for myself. It's our team that's won it as well. It's not just me, but it's also a recognition for what women and for what truck drivers do nationally. So everyone shares them. Yeah.
That's great. And leading into another question, do you find that networking is important? Networking, in your position, outside of your company and within the industry?
Yeah, most definitely. I'm fortunate enough to have a few days that are spare, or I can allocate days that are spare so that we can do that nationally. People need to see and hear what we do for the entire population, because something I commonly say, from the foundation of the road to the asphalt on top, us in heavy vehicles build that for you. The foundation of your house, the concrete, the bricks, the roof, all your furniture inside, we in heavy vehicles carve that for you. The food you ate last night, the food this morning, the clothes on your back, everything in every shopping centre, and the fuel you put in your car comes by us with heavy vehicles. And if it comes by train, plane or ship, we actually load them and then unload them and bring them to you. So a lot of people don't understand how critical road transport is to the Australian way of life that we have today.
Yeah, that's quite true, Heather. That's a great saying you've got there. It's